welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be focusing on Mapwork, map skills and techniques, but we are going to be specifically focusing on the gradient, as you can see on the screen. Now, the first basis of the gradient, we should know what is a gradient or how does the gradient work. In a Mapwork, map is all about the geographical features and geographical objects that we see on the map. Now, the gradient is the relationship between height and distance. The reason why most of the time when you are calculating the gradient, you find that there are many contour lines between or in around the spot heights that you are supposed to calculate gradient. Now, the gradient, it's because it simply tells us how the steep a straight line is, or how steep or how gentle the straight line is. Gradient, it's actually used to calculate the slopiness or the steepness or the gentleness of the slope. Now, we calculate gradient. This is the formula of gradient. Gradient is equals to height, which is vertical because it's from or it's above sea level. It means it's from 0 meter above sea level. Now, divided by the distance between the two geographical objects that you ought to be calculating the gradient of. Now, how do we calculate gradient? To calculate gradient, we need to be having the gradient, or we need to be having the height of two different geographical objects or two different geographical monuments that we are given. In this case, we are given a spot height 1515 and spot height 1431. Now, we calculate the distance, the gradient, or we start by calculating the height between these two spot heights. And always remember, whenever you are calculating the height between two spot height, always subtract the bigger spot height or the highest amount, or from you always need to subtract the lowest amount from the highest amount, as you can see that I've already did on the screen. Spot height 1515 is being subtracted from spot height 1431. So assuming that these two spot height might be two mountains or two steep or slopes that are just standing next to each other, height, we have determined that they exceed each other by 84 meters of height from above sea level. Now, how does this help us? This helps us to determine how we are going to be ending up having gradient is equals to height divided by distance. Now we have found our height. I repeat, height is found by subtracting the lowest height from the highest height. The answer must always be in meters, because the spot heights are always in meters. Now, the next step that we are going to find now, we are going to find the distance which is just the horizontal space between the two spot heights. Now, the distance is measured by a mathematical ruler or a geographical ruler. Now, the first point of a zero is where you put your spot height, or the point of spot height, up until you arrive at the next spot height. And the distance between that spot height, it should be in centimeters, since you are using a mathematical ruler. Therefore, we have measured and find out that the distance between spot height number 1515 and the distance between spot height number 1515 and spot height number 1431 is actually 1,9 centimeter. This is the actual distance between these two spots height. Now, this centimeter, since here in this example we are using a topographical map, this topographical map, we always know that the topographical map is always having a scale of 1:50,000. Now, how do we convert the 1,9 centimeter to meters? How do we do that? Now, we all know that from 1 meter we have 1,000 centimeter, and since from 1 meter we have 1,000 centimeter, and the scale of a topographical map is 1:50,000 scale, this means that 1 centimeter on the ground on the map that we are having, which is our topographical map, represents 50 centimeter on the ground, on the actual ground. Therefore, this should be divided by 1,000 centimeter. That is of the conversion of 1 meter. How many centimeters do we get from 1 meter? Which we are going to end up having 500 meters. The 500 meters that you are seeing here is this is where the 500 meters is coming from. It's coming from the fact that we needed to convert 1,9 centimeter, which we got as an actual distance from spot height 1515 to spot height 1431, and we needed to convert this 1,9 centimeter to meters, which we knew that from 1 meter there are 1,000 centimeters, and the scale of a topographical map which we are working on now, it's 50,000 centimeter. Therefore, 50,000 divided by 1,000, which we find from 1 meter, is going to give us this 500. Therefore, the distance which we have now, it's 950 meters. Now, the formula of gradient, its gradient is equals to height divided by distance. Now, this is an important part. We need to convert these answers that we got, 84 meters divided by 900 meters, which is the height divided by distance, to ratio. How do we do that? We divide both sides of the ratio by the height. This is so we can get a ratio of 1 to a relative number. In other words, a distance. Therefore, this means that the 84 that we got as a height between the two spot height divided by 950 meters that we got from the distance between the two spot height, we are going to divide both by the ratio. We are going to divide both by the ratio of the height, which is 84. So 84 is going to be divided by 84. It's going to give us 1. And a ratio is always 1:something, or something is to something. Now, in this case, the ratio of the height is 1:2. We are going to divide 950, and we divide 950 by 84, which is going to give us 11.3 meters. So this is how we calculate a gradient, ladies and gentlemen. And this also brings us to the end of our Mapwork section. To continue with these lessons, you can contact me on 071-420-9221, so that you add me on Telegram. We have a Telegram group where we have an online classes, and we actually have session each and every weekend, 3-hour session. So you can tune in and contact me on 071-420-9221, and we will meet in the next session. Thank you.